All right, welcome to the Tribulation, day 36. The tribulation continues. The spooky weather here in San Jose continues. It's like, late June, and yet the weather still remains abnormally cool. Today is the 19th. And, watching the weather report this morning, we got everything from the huge fire in Arizona that's spread into New Mexico because there's this heat wave drought that's affecting this, like, Texas and southern portion of the United States. And then, of course, there's blizzards, tornadoes, and thunderstorms and all sorts of extreme weather kind of blowing across the Midwest again in the Chicago, Kentucky area. And, Montana has been covered in snow all year long, and they're getting a blizzard today. So anybody that doesn't think that the weather is kind of screwed up, no, it's screwed up. But, what I wanted to talk about today, the tribulation, is kind of a negative term, and, I've been talking about how to survive and giving survivor tips. But that being said, there's surviving the tribulation, getting through the tribulation, but, I'm not denying the tribulation, and I'm not running away from the tribulation. In fact, I'm embracing the tribulation, because tribulation ultimately brings about change. And, my thought for the day is Matthew, it's out of the Bible, Matthew 4, verses 17. Anyway, it's either Matthew 4:17 or Matthew 5:17, but it's Jesus basically says, change, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And, in the Hebrew language, the word repent actually means change. Change your attitude, change your way of thinking. And I think that's what it's going to take to get through the tribulation. And, the reason the tribulation is upon us is because our whole method of existing isn't working, and it needs to change. And that's what we're experiencing, from our economics to how we, live our daily lives. We can't be living just for consuming things in mass quantities for the sole purpose of obtaining as much stuff as we possibly can. The founding fathers kind of said the pursuit of liberty, life, liberty, and happiness. I think that's all good. But happiness is not money. It's not. We need to figure that out. Even though I'd be happy if I had some money right now. But, as part of my embrace of the tribulation, what I call the old world thinking, change is thinking outside of the box. We get comfortable just being inside the box, living our whole lives in a box. Lately, I play the games on Facebook, the Zynga games, especially Cityville. That's a neat little box, build a little city, and it chugs along. It's all fake, but, the people walking around in that city. But, the time has come where we got to think outside the box. That was one of the beautiful things about Jesus as a whole, is I always thought he thought outside of the box. Like love thine enemy, turn the other cheek. He's not saying, hey, get your ass beat every time somebody confronts you. But what he's saying is, consider the alternate possibility that you don't always meet violence with violence. That you don't always return a slap for a slap. That turning the other cheek is sometimes the right thing to do. But that's the kind of repent and change that we're going to need to get through the tribulation, that the world's going to need. You know, the old rules that the world has been built around for thousands of years, you know, even stuff that they did 2,000 years ago, like beheading and stoning people for ridiculous things, like you know, for adultery, or you know, hey, if you steal, you get your arm cut off. You know what? Those old world ideas are dead, over, finished, gone. There's no place in the world for that kind of, you know, Cro-Magnon thinking. And the point I'm saying is the tribulation and the change that's coming, you know, the world that supports going on 6 billion people, and soon we'll have 10 billion people, the world that we all need to get along in, the rules that we're going to need to follow are not the same as the rules that the earth has been following for the last thousands of years when there was way less people. You know, things like borders, you know, we got to figure out, do borders even need to exist? You know, why do borders exist? Most of the time it's so that one person on one side of the border can shoot the person on the other side of the border. So I'm hopeful. You know, that's why I confront is going to be huge, because confronting is confronting the change, you know, considering the alternative possibilities. And if we do that, we'll get through the tribulation. We'll kick the tribulation's butt. So you know what? I'm going to leave you with that. It's a Sunday. Let's all go out there and get our tribulation on. Let's confront the tribulation. Keep on rocking.